Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA Men's Hoops as the visiting Big Blue of Millikin are here in Kenosha to take on the Firebirds at Tarble Arena for Carthage College. Hello everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague today, Eric, I'm Pete, and we are excited to be bringing you this outstanding CCIW matchup as both these teams are now taking the court. We just saw Millikin pull out a thrilling come-from-behind victory against the home Firebirds on the women's side of things, but right now on the men's side, we got a good matchup between two good squads. Julian Campbell at start there, leading the way offensively, defensively. The true sophomore has been having a stellar season for the Firebirds.
Yeah, Julie, you saw it last game, a little bit limited on the offensive output as they went through Bulatovic a little bit. You look for Campbell to get back into the scoring zone, and it's going to be a big matchup because he has a tough 6'8" defender that he'll be playing against, and we'll see how that matchup goes tonight. And again, Nesbitt going to have to take a big role himself, keeping up. He's been playing a lot of big minutes.
Right now, Millikin sits at 6-7 overall, looking to get to that 500 mark overall. 2-2 in conference play. Carthage 9-4. They are 3-1 in conference play. We had a lengthy, outstanding conversation with Coach Jarakovic before the game today. You know, and one thing he said is when he's playing teams now, when they recognize the strength, like a Julian Campbell, they try to scheme him out of the game. They try to go fast. They try to go small. So that's something that we're going to see today, how Millikin matches up. Offensively for Millikin, they have 13 games played, 9 starts. Their leading scorer is going to be Nate Straughter. Right behind him at 13 points, Straughter has 14, is J.T. Welch, a nice 1-2 punch for Millikin.
Yeah, you can tell Millikin, when you look down their scoring averages, they seem to spread it around a little bit. Straughter is the leading scorer for the team, and he's 5th in the conference in scoring, and he really is what makes them go. They go through him. He's a great post-up shooter, and you got to get a hand in his face because he had a quick release, but they really spread it around, get downhill. They have a tough point guard distributing it around, and yeah, it'll be a tough matchup and a fun game to see.
A.J. Johnson not going to be in the lineup again. We'll give you starters momentarily. Antoine Nesbitt came back. He missed a few games. Second leading scorer on the team, 14.1 points per game, and not to mention the leader in assists with 57. That shows you even missing games still being the leader in assists. Antoine Nesbitt, things go through him at the top of the key.
Yeah, we've talked with Coach Jurakovic and how much he respects and appreciates the calming influence Nesbitt has, and really for someone to play as many minutes as he has, it's pretty much, you got one of your 5 spots filled pretty much all game with Antoine Nesbitt. And yeah, he distributes it well. He made some big shots down the stretch to come out with a victory on Wednesday against North Park. And yeah, he's really had to step up with the absence of A.J. Johnson.
Another thing to mention, folks, during the halftime show, not to get too far ahead of us, we have a treat for you. Carthage yesterday did announce the hiring of a brand new head football coach. Taking the helm is going to be Coach Pops Matt Pepino. Heading here to Carthage, he will be joining us for the halftime show for his formal introduction to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. We got to meet him for a few minutes before the game. He's excited to be here. We're excited to meet him. He's excited to meet the Carthage faithful, not only here at Tarble Arena, but at home. It's always exciting when there is a new head coach at the helm.
Yeah, what an exciting opportunity for a young coach getting this big opportunity at a school like Carthage. And it's a nice spot. I would say it would be interesting to hear of what led him to come here at Carthage. I'd like to find that out. But, yeah, exciting moment for the program and the football team, and we'll see what he can do in this upcoming season.
Yeah, no pressure coming into the CCIW, one of the top Division III conferences in all the nation. So that'll be a lot of fun in the fall, and, of course, joining us, as stated, during halftime. Carthage again sits 3-1 in conference play. They had a rough go recently, 2 losses to Whiteher and Ursis. North Park back in conference play, though, won in overtime, 84-82, so they're coming off of a win. However, on the flip side, Millikin coming off of a loss against Elmhurst, 62-76. So can Carthage get 2 wins in a row? Can Millikin come back on the winning side of things? They had 3 wins in a row against Rose-Hulman, St. John Fisher, and Carroll. So they are 3-1 in their past 4 games, and it's kind of the opposite for the Firebirds. But Firebirds back at home for the first time in quite a few weeks. That was a game against Illinois Tech, 83-79, a victory before the holiday season. We'll take a timeout to step aside. National anthem instructions and more. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday late afternoon contest, Firebirds Blue on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And welcome into the Firebird Broadcasting Network. I appreciate each and every one of you being with us this afternoon. Hello, everybody. Once again, Peter Ferreri, glad you are with us as head coach Kramer Soderberg is bringing the 6-7 Big Blue to Kenosha to take on the 9-4 coach Jarakovic-led Firebirds. Firebirds in the home grays, the alternates with the red numbers and letters, black trim. Millikin in the visiting blues with white numbers and letters, black trim. Starting lineup thoughts, Eric, before we get underway.
Yeah, with Sigel starting into the lineup, you look to see what kind of contribution he can make. He's obviously an electric three-point shooter, can score them in bunches. He had some big shots on Wednesday. So with the bigger role, what can he do, jumping into this lineup?
In the start as well, Jaden McClain for Millikin alongside number 5, DeMarcus Bond. J.T. Welch, one of the leading scorers, as we discussed. The big man, number 44, Frazier Ott, out of Chesterfield, Missouri, a Lindenwood University transfer. and number 23, Noah Livingston.
Millikin's a team that likes to get downhill, get to the attack to the basket.
Campbell gets the board. To note, leading scorer Nate Straughter not in the starting lineup. That possession will stay with the Firebirds.
That was an impressive grab there. Even though he was going out of bounds, he one hand caught that ball. I know it didn't. He jumped out of bounds, but that was an impressive catch there by McLean. And he's someone that, on the scouting report, a very physical, quick guard.
Nesbitt high off the glass, and that's going to go away from Millikin. It's going to be a battle down low when you have the likes of Julian Campbell. For those who have not seen him yet this year, he is really playing at another level. Cut 30-plus pounds to play at a faster pace in the offseason. Had a full, healthy offseason, and it showed on the court.
Yeah, Coach Jurkovic talked about teams trying to scheme Campbell off the court. As long as Millikin started in Frazier, you think that those two big bodies are going to be banging up tonight. And there's a three from Campbell.
Julian Campbell, the big man, not afraid to pull the trigger from long range. His 12th three-pointer on the season. 3-0 first score of the ball game.
You wonder if Ott is someone who feels comfortable drifting out that far to guard the three-point line. You know, he seems to be one of those players that sticks towards the block, but see how comfortable he is drifting out as far to cover Campbell on those threes, and he tried to match Campbell with his own two.
Again, Nesbitt getting the start alongside Sigel. A.J. Williams, a key contributor with A.J. Johnson out. Campbell finds another three. Absolutely feeling it for the big man.
Again, you can see Ott a little slow to get out there, and this might be a tough matchup for Frazier Ott, and we're wondering if Coach Jurkovic continues to call Campbell's number here early. And you can already see Frazier Ott getting subbed out already. I wonder if that's a response to not getting a hand in Campbell's face, as Cole Lawrence will step in. And you really feel that was a substitution to kind of make a point there. Or maybe a mismatch they had to get off the court before it came.
Cole Lawrence, the senior out of Farmington, Missouri, subbing into the game, another big man. But again, Campbell inside, outside. I mean, where do you stop him? That's why we've heard what Coach Jurkovic said, again, a lengthy conversation with him pregame, where he said, you know, his minutes have gone down because they're just saying, okay, well, we're just going to play small and fast and hope to run him out of the game and run him out of the lineup.
Yeah, I think it's a similar thing that you see in the NBA with some of those bigger, like, kind of lumbering centers. People like Rudy Gobert, they get sometimes completely schemed off the court, and Campbell, to his credit, is able to have a little more dimension where he can, you know, he can play outside and play inside. But, yeah, if the team goes 5 guards on the outside, that's tough for Campbell to keep with.
Campbell wanted to go 3 for 3 from 3. Couldn't find it there, hard off the right iron. Getting a nice screen, pulling up from the free throw line, steps in, good. DeMarcus Bond gets the first basket.
Yeah, Lawrence just put a wall up there for Bond to walk around and is able to get a nice look at the basket. And, yeah, running into Cole Lawrence does not look like to be a fun time. It's a solid body there.
Taken away now. Millikin passes, layup with the right hand, good. That'll be by number 83, Nate Straughter. It was only a matter of time before he gets involved. Comes off the bench, tied up at 6.
Yeah, Jaden McLean is lethal in transition, and you can see found the cutting Straughter there for the quick bucket.
So a foul going to be on the ground as Nesbitt tried to spin in. Let me say it this way. How about this? Let me speak. I don't see, Eric, a problem with Campbell taking those threes. You got to have somebody else, though, underneath the boards just in case. Doesn't even matter if it's a guard at this point, but somebody's going to be down there because the past time, you know, he just has been taking those shots. When it's been misses, I mean, they're all cleared out. You got to have a little bit of help.
Yeah, you wonder how much is Coach Jurkovic making sure his guys are getting back? Because Millikin really likes Phillip getting the tough bucket down there. Because Millikin, they like to get out and run. So I wonder how much you guard against. Like, where do do you crash the boards and try to get the offensive rebound? Where that might leave you exposed on transition. So finding that balance of crashing the boards, but watching out like, they will get back in a hurry.
Two-hand kind of misguided layup, and mishandling it is Cole Lawrence as that goes the other way. Shout out to Phil Balatovich, by the way. His last game a few days ago hit the 1,500-point mark in his NCAA career. So adding on to that here today already with that last bucket.
Walk towards Coach Jurkovic's office today, and he's got a big poster of Phil Balatovich outside of it. I wonder how long you keep Phil out here. He said, Phil's good for at least another season, even though he will be graduating here. And he takes it to the basket, and something that you've seen improve over Phil to get to 1,500 points. He's really improved at the free throw line. And this season, one of his best free throw shooting years, and that is one of the easiest way, right, to add to your point totals, that if you get those free throws, capitalize and put them in.
Yeah, Balatovich up to 4-12 from the free throw line. In some earlier games this year, crucial free throws at the line here at Tarble Arena to help his squad come away victorious, because they were going to foul. They knew that's where their perceived weaknesses, and he came through in the absolute clutch.
Yeah, it seems like maybe the percentage might not be there, but it seems like he seems more confident, and the clutch free throws he's been able to knock in, because that's another thing. We talked about teams scheming players off the court. It's hard for Coach Jurkovic to have Balatovich out there when it's a fouling situation. A nice jumper by Sigel.
Sigel delivering outstanding shot for his first bucket of the afternoon. Looking for three, finding them all. DeMarcus Bond leading the offensive charge. 7 points now out of the 11, tied at 11 apiece.
Yeah, not a huge three-point shooter there.
Yeah, that was a hard screen by Campbell. He's actually going to have, he brushes off the official. But that left I'm not quite sure which Millikin player received the screen, but that was a tough shoulder charge as Ryan Johnson checks in. So Johnson, the younger yet taller of the Johnson boys, has been getting the starts for the past few games. However, Sigel gets the start today. Johnson giving Campbell the breather.
Yeah, you wonder if one of those fouls that Campbell picks up is that sometimes just being the bigger body and seeing guys get run into that. Sometimes the foul looks like you committed a harder foul than you did. And, Coach Jurkovic kind of had a smirk about that one.
Well, now
wasn't sure.
Frazier Ott's able to, I say he stepped on the line, so my apologies. I was just going to say, when he was first up at Campbell against Frazier Ott, that was a 80-pound difference.
Yeah.
That's like me and you going at it in the post there.
Campbell wants to play physical, and he doesn't.
Where Cole Lawrence, they are on paper 9 pounds different, 279 to 270 at the exact same height. So that was more the pound for pound, as you like to hear.
Here it looks like Millikin going small, so that's why Campbell picked up the foul, but Millikin's gone with a smaller lineup here.
Out to Sigel, he pump fakes, falling away.
Yep.
Big three for number 3. Firebirds up by 3, 14-11.
Quick 5 points for Sigel getting the start tonight and contributing early. And a pump fake, get the defender off his feet and knock down the 3 at the end of the shot clock there.
Hitting the top of the backboard. Johnson comes away with it. Carthage looking to extend their lead. Under 14, Sigel way downtown. Balatovich, offensive board, pump fake, shot, good. 5-point lead for the Firebirds.
You can see Sigel calling for the ball there, and he did not take long between catching it and shooting it. But Phil bodying down to get that offensive rebound, and he's going to, with kind of a smaller lineup here for Millikin, Balatovich going to have to do the dirty work down low.
Smooth sailing for DeMarcus Bond. Call him Thunderball. Another 3 ball. He's got 10 out of the 14 points for Millikin.
He's just coming off of, I think he's been banged up a little bit early because when you look at his stat line, he's only shot 3 3-pointers on the season, but that's due to some time missed, and you can see that he is deadly from outside.
Balatovich looking for anywhere to pass, finds Nesbitt, open for 3, toe on the line, no good, and I think, let's see who the foul's going to be called. I believe it's going to be called on number 12, Jacob Bullock, out of Bloomington University High, as you kind of saw Balatovich just fading away. You a James Bond fan? Did you get that reference at all? Have you seen any James Bond movies?
Okay. I've seen some James Bond movies. I cannot say that I caught the reference.
Got it.
But I will study up for our next time together, and I'll be ready.
Next time Bond makes a shot, I'll use a more recent Bond movie reference than Thunderball.
I did wonder. I'd heard Thunderball. I was like,
that's a unique.
I like the sound of it. Phillip being aggressive there, picking up a foul, and Millikin with 4 fouls early here in the first half.
Balatovich now drives in, spins, pump fake. Big Johnson, does he want it? Can't find it. Nesbitt, no call from behind. Pass to the near side. It's been the Bond show so far. Steps back with the bright orange sneakers. Looks for the running screen, decides to pass off. Almost losing possession is Jaden McLean out of SLU High. Nice crisp passing, driving baseline. Almost a foul, and that is going to be called on number 12, Tanner Lamb, who recently checked into the contest. Lamb wearing the white wrist tape on the left wrist, as he often does.
Yeah, Lamb almost stripped that away, but caught the big blue arm there.
Noah Livingston. Casey Westerfield.
Something I always appreciate about Lamb is he feels like he's got the quickest, choppiest little feet.
Yeah.
It's like he really stutters the feet, but he picks up his second foul there.
As we see Sigel about to check back in again with A.J. Johnson out. You're going to get a lot more playing time from Lamb and Sigel. Between that one guard.
Yeah, you feel for Lamb there. Get out on the court, ready to make something happen, and 2 quick fouls, and right back to the bench.
And it's just, the question's going to be who throughout the remainder of the games of the absence for A.J. Johnson is going to step up, besides the Lambs, besides the Colton Sigels. We already know A.J. Williams and Nesbitt are your other 1-2 punch. Is it going to be a Joey Gendusa? Is it going to be a forward stepping up into the guard position?
Yeah, Carthage so far this season done a good job of spreading it around and kind of riding who the hot hand is and able to distribute that offensive load as they need to.
Outstanding job fighting for it and getting the offensive board is Bullock.
Yeah, Millikin, they're physical.
No push-off called. No good off the back rim either. Straughter looks like his arm extended, but no call. 1-point lead for the Firebirds. 11 minutes remain. Williams wanted it, couldn't find the bucket.
It looked like Straughter, if he would extend his arm just a little bit more, called an offensive foul, but.
Crisp pass inside, poked back out. McLean finds a wide open Straughter. He's able to get all 3 of those.
Yeah, he is a elite shooter, and open looks he's going to knock down more often than not.
30-second timeout will stay here. Millikin now leads by 2, 18-16 over the Firebirds. Again, stick around for the halftime show. Head coach for the football squad, Matt Pepino, is going to be joining us. Just signed on yesterday, so glad he'll be here. Alongside Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Eric, when looking at the game so far, Carthage started out hot. Millikin, bit by bit, found their way back into things. As you see Sigel taking that way downtown shot. But besides that, Millikin doing a good job, and they're below 500, but 2-2 in conference play, a lot to play for in this away road match first few days of January.
Yeah, this is an important game in the conference. 2 teams looking to climb in the standings, and Millikin so far has been able to find the open looks outside the arc, and Carthage, I think, is looking to find a little more offensive rhythm here and see if they can get some looks through Johnson, maybe get Nesbitt involved here, see if he can get to the hoop. As effective as he is at that.
Nesbitt now swinging around to Johnson. Johnson trying to set the screen for Sigel. Back to Tony Bernero, who checked in. He hits the ground. Nesbitt's got to take a shot with 4, with 3, with 2. Trying to fade away, hand in his face, hits the side iron. Poked around by Bernero. Ugly possession for the Firebirds.
Yeah, that was stout defense there by Millikin and forcing Nesbitt into a really tough shot.
Floater, left hand, hard off the back iron, hitting the ground. Williams, Bernero to Sigel as he slows things down. Or does he? Pass into Bernero, he gets knocked. Williams finally going to get fouled. There was a lot of physical contact, Eric, on that possession.
Great look there by Bernero to kind of took a couple bumps, was able to find Williams through the traffic, and Williams get a couple pump fakes and get to the line, which if Carthage wants to be, successful tonight, they're going to have to get some of those looks down low, and Bernero able to drop it off to Williams.
Another player that might get some more playing time, Mason Miller. I'm just looking at, the overall field for the team. He has played in over 10 minutes, so just looking at the guards that may get some more playing time with the situation being as such.
And here he is.
Well, it's like I called it.
Yeah. I don't know if you had, literally as he said his name, he came trotting onto the court here.
Not at all.
Yes.
I was just, looking at my years of being here at Tarble and, seeing the tendencies in which Coach Jarakovic might go.
Great pass.
Into Bernero. You've been here a few years yourself now.
Yeah. I've been down at the table announcing, but I've been here since I think either Bosco Jurakovic's second to last year or last year. So it's been fun to see the team kind of transition from Bosco Jurakovic to Steve Jurakovic.
That was an aggressive push as we see Frazier Ott getting kind of chirpy and chippy. Head coach Kramer Soderberg kind of saying what happened, but that was a foul.
Yeah, that was Sigel went flying into the cheerleaders this side, and yeah, you can tell that Ott plays a little grumpy.
Yeah. He's got a Bill Lambier vibe.
Yeah.
If you're old enough to know who that is at home. Have you heard of Bill Lambier?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Sure. I know you're much, much younger than me, so I wasn't sure if the Bad Boys of Detroit ring a bell. But you know what they do? They do a good job on, NBA TV and stuff like that to talk about the old days.
Yeah,
right.
Good look at Johnson get down there at the free throw line. Yeah, actually had a Super Nintendo game. It was called Bill Lambier's Combat Basketball.
There you go. Deep cut.
They leaned into the Bill Lambier style, and that game wasn't a whole lot about passing and shooting as it was just shoving guys around.
That is a nice deep cut. Wow.
But yeah, Ott's definitely got that look to him. As I would not get him too angry.
Foul going to be called on the offensive end.
I think Coach Jurkovic called that before because he did a fist pump as the ref called it. So he made sure to assist the referee if he needed help on that offensive foul there. But yeah, it was as the call was made, Coach Jurkovic had the fist pump flying already.
One thing that he told us, and again, we can keep referencing our it was such a fun conversation with Coach prior to the first game of this afternoon. In the doubleheader, Nesbitt drives in, can't find the bucket, going to be fouled. But something he said is, look, he respectfully has those conversations with the ref, and I even said in jest, Coach, you've calmed down a little bit in the past few years, especially this year. And he said, well, I've just grown up and learned to be a bit more calm, and I can be, and that's led to this Carthage squad having such a good season, 9-4, 3-1 in conference play, looking for the 10th win and a 22-18 lead over Millikin. What's it been so far after, some made free throws by Ryan Johnson, not having his older brother AJ, they haven't really skipped a beat.
Yeah,
missed a beat, I should say.
Yeah, I think what you can see is that they've turned the focus to pounding it down low, and it hasn't necessarily been beautiful, but they're getting to the free throw line, getting some free throws, and they've already tacked on 8 fouls in Millikin, so a lot of that has to do with putting Millikin in situations where they have to foul. And as good of a free throw shooting team Carthage can be, that's easy offense, and sometimes all you need to do is shoot more free throws. Or one of the old adages of a coach is if you can make more free throws than the other team attempts, you'll win the game more often than not. And Carthage has been adding up some free throws here now.
So Nesbitt makes the shout, while You Make Me Want to Shout is on in the background, but they have the point count anyway. See, you're not at the bench, and that's what happens. Is that something you usually call?
Oh, yeah. No, I have no control over the video there, no.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's something we talked about, Coach Jurkovic's sideline demeanor, and that is something I've been able to notice as Strouder takes it there. It is something you think as you get, past your first year as coach. I can't imagine what it'd be like to be a head coach your very first year. That has to be a lot of things flying at you, a lot of emotion, and as you get a little more experience, comfort under your belt. Bernero with an easy one. I think you're able to show that calm, and your team, the teams need that because
pull up floater that rolls around, no good. Bernero able to get the board, and it's nice to see Bernero last year getting some starts, but this year nice layup by Johnson has streaks in. Coach Jarakovic all smiles when talking about Ryan Johnson and his future with the Firebird squad.
Yeah, a lot to be excited about. Inside-outside game, is hard-nosed defensively, not afraid to get on the floor. You're excited he came here, for sure.
To see who the foul is going to be on. Is it going to be on Johnson, or is it going to be on the recently subbed in Mason Miller? Again, Miller, the sophomore out of Evansville, as Campbell comes to check back in, and it is going to indeed be on. It's actually going to be on Ryan Johnson. So surprising, because Johnson I saw him come from the far side and kind of just put his hand out, but contact nonetheless.
Yeah, I think there's maybe ref saw some contact with the hip there, kind of not bowled him over. It wasn't a whole lot, but enough to draw the foul. And there's another one. Coach Jurkovic saw it coming. Another offensive foul. And, yeah, we talking about Coach Jurkovic being less maybe, I don't know, intense, but he's not less animated, I would say. He's still got the emotions going. Maybe less vocal, but, he's still got the body English trying to get those fouls.
I said they need to just have like a coach cam just to get a Jarakovic highlight. Mic him up for a game. Johnson no good off the left iron. He looked long. Couldn't find the bucket.
I announced some lacrosse games with Coach Jurkovic, and he does the shot clock for the lacrosse games as Livingston takes it in, and he is one of the most intense people with the lacrosse shot clock I've ever seen. The way he hits the buttons and he focuses on the possession change.
Make sure to get all those.
It doesn't matter what sport it is. Coach Jurkovic's out here.
There's not many last names that are synonymous with Carthage.
Right.
And that is near the top of the list in his own right. And it's a good thing for this Firebird squad that, he's around, and that's a huge thing for the recruits that are coming in, to know there's that consistency and that pride in Carthage, in Kenosha, that you're going to play for somebody that, cares so deeply about the team.
Yeah, I think that's something unique about D3 sports is that you will, like these basketball guys will have to be fielding soccer balls when the soccer team is playing. They'll be on the outline. They contribute. So you'll see volleyball guys helping out with, basketball and baseball helping out. And really, I think all the athletes kind of becomes a huge community, and everyone's helping each other out and chipping in. And like I mentioned, Coach Jurkovic's doing lacrosse shot clock, whatever is needed. That's a long one.
Ooh, JT Welch all the way from Bloomington with that one.
That was cold-blooded there. A slight frame on him, but yeah, he's got a quick release, and he gets any space. He's looking to launch it up there.
So as Campbell checked back in, so did Cole Lawrence.
The 50-50 match up there. It looks like Lawrence able to kind of deflect it off Campbell there. But yeah, I think that'll be a big substitution pattern here, as once 150 comes in, the opposite 50's probably following in there soon. What
nice
a block.
Block, A.J. Williams. Campbell able to pick it up. They'll have to pick up the pace to get it over half court. They do. Oh, just a mishandle.
Almost looked like it could have been a handoff there, but a little miscommunication on the exchange.
I know a big term today in today's day and age is vibes. Cole Lawrence gives me like a mid-'90s R&B singer vibes. Like, I'm expecting him at halftime to sing I Swear by All For One. Like, he's ready to go. He's going to put on some, a nice leather coat, serenade us all.
Kind of like a Montel Jordan, this is how we do it. Maybe
yeah,
I could see him. Yeah, I could see that.
Not to mention one of the best players for this Millikin squad. Couldn't get out in time, however, to block Julian Campbell. Finds himself another three. How about this for the big man? All his points by way of long-range threes.
Yeah, he put that in Lawrence's face there, so Lawrence might have to sing a little sad R&B song after he took that one. But not to be outshined there, put a little spin cycle on. Like 3-4 pivots in a row there to create that opportunity.
So heading to the line, must have heard us talking about him, is of course Cole Lawrence. Cole Lawrence only averaging 10 minutes a game. He's taken 10 free throws. He's 10 for 13 for him, averaging 3.5 points. So already today,
able to knock the second one down there.
As he subs out for Frazier Ott.
Yeah, Ott had sat since the opening minutes, right? I don't think he's been since Campbell put a couple shots on him. So he's
foul from behind, likely to be called on Chase Travis. Let's see what the call is. And it is. So Travis not happy about that one, but Nesbitt using that quick first step to split the uprights. They always say in sports, if you got two defenders, quickest way to get through is between them.
And there aren't a lot of people better at splitting defenders than Nesbitt. Not many people as quick, and just how electric his first step can be. And if you're looking at the scouting report on Nesbitt, you have to know, like, hey, do not, try to stay in front. He's going to try to get to the basket, and knowing that and stopping it are two different things with as quick as he is.
4.5 remaining in the opening half. Don't forget, halftime show. New head coach, Coach Matt Pop, going to be joining us for his introduction. Less than 10.
There.
Way long range. That one pushed back in, but right in the hands of Antoine Nesbitt. Colton Sigel, can he find another three? And he does. Making it rain from long range. Firebirds up by 9.
Yeah, he's definitely taking his opportunity here, and any shot he's looking to take and knocking him down, and he's been coming up huge from the three-point line. But Millikin's got their own sharp shooter and off there. Ott looks to carve some space.
Frazier Ott now up against Johnson. He's got the matchup. Johnson with the clean block. Ott able to get his own swat away from long range. Bond off the back iron, no good. Another foul going to be called, I believe, on Ott.
I have no idea what he's doing there. He literally just shoved him. He just pushed him. I don't like.
Well, don't forget that Ott had that very tough foul earlier in the contest before he subbed out, so Tony Bonero about to check in. So Ott's been
he just straight up shoved him. And it was like he even got away with a push before it. So I don't know. And Johnson get an opportunity here, extend the lead. It's already at 9 now.
That one hits
shooter's touch
the backboard, and just like that, Ott checking back out for Lawrence. Coach Soderberg going to have he actually didn't even say anything to Ott. Don't know what's worse, no words or words.
Yeah, doesn't quite look easy. Had a fun time in this game yet, but Carthage enjoying a 10-point lead now.
Trying to cut in, nothing there. Spinning around, Balatovich with the clean block. Jake Bullock went up for the shot. Balatovich said, no, thank you, try again.
Yeah, a couple blocks, back-to-back possessions here. Carthage stout so far.
Tony Bonero against Lawrence down low. Lawrence spins. Balatovich, nice play by Cole Lawrence to just as aggressively as possible get up to the basket, and Lawrence getting some key moments as Millikin back to within 8.
Yeah,
Lawrence taking the timeout. So 38-30 your score. Carthage had as much as a 10-point lead. It's been so intriguing, the down-low battle right now, though, Eric.
Yeah, Lawrence is one of those guys that, if he's in the restricted area, it's almost like Tiger Woods from 3 feet out. It's probably going in. It's almost automatic, and just having that body. And Bonero, as physical as he is, we've mentioned the weight differential. It's just hard to body that guy. And it's Lawrence, to his credit, is not just powering through people, but he's got a couple spin moves, up and unders, and he's been able to contribute a few points here.
Cole Lawrence, an elementary education major.
That is an interesting role for a guy as big as he is.
Well, I mean, you being an elementary teacher yourself, you may see him down the hallway next year.
Yeah, I would say there would be some kids if they're in his classroom. You wouldn't want to, make Mr. Lawrence. That would be an intimidating presence for sure, but must have a soft heart. If you're in elementary education, you can't be very jaded at all.
24 games, 20 starts, had 21 starts junior year. Got the extra bonus year. Also received the CCIW Respect Award.
There you go.
So that could help at the education side. Season high 8 points against Rose Hullman.
Sigel is pounding it through. And we talked about weight and size matchups. Sigel doesn't often get to say this, but he has definite size advantage over JT Welch.
Poked away from behind Williams, picking it back up. A foul going to be called, late whistle.
Just unfortunate that ball didn't bounce back to him.
Yeah, it's going to be called on Williams.
Millikin in the bonus now.
Cole Lawrence did have 13 against Carthage back in February of 2020. So
I was going to say this guy looks familiar for sure. He must.
Career high 22 against Greenville last year, November of 2022. It's 2024 now. I have to stop myself when I'm like, oh, last November. Nope. It's that's another year.
Oh, you know why you got those points against Greenville. You know that style of play. That's one of those.
Yeah.
They press and they pretty much leave big men open. So I want to say Carthage, a couple Carthage big men have had their career highs against.
Johnson wanted 3, and he gets them all. 43-31 Carthage, adding on to that lead in the waning moments of this opening half.
I don't want to jinx anything here, but it's been relative. Oh,
that was close. That was close.
It's felt like a relatively comfortable game here for Carthage so far. It kind of seems like they're getting their lead. They're limiting to what Millikin's able to do offensively, and to build a 12-point. It's kind of seemed like they've been in control here for the first, 18 minutes of this game so far. But you would have to believe Millikin's got a run in them to see if they can cut down on this lead before half.
Well, one thing that Carthage is making Millikin do, and not to sound cliche, is just have to score a lot. Millikin, a slower paced team, having watched plenty of their action this season. Half-court team, get in, get the nice shot, or get the shot you want, and Carthage is just not allowing that so far. Millikin did put up 85 against Rose-Hulman in that season high for Lawrence. However, only 47 against WashU, 59 against Augustana. Nice, crisp passing, Tony Bernero.
Nesbitt had to thread that through. It's the quarterback passing in a tight window there.
Nesbitt takes it away.
Yeah, Carthage now shooting 60% from the field, which Millikin, that's going to be hard to compete against.
Pass in, Bernero.
And that's why they're shooting so high.
Yep. Cole Lawrence came out to try to help against Nesbitt when he saw Nesbitt potentially losing the dribble. Nonetheless, that left Tony Bernero wide open. And again, I give Bernero a lot of credit for having a lot more playing time in prior years, being a rotational player now as the years go on, but still taking full advantage, being a team player. 47-33 your score. Carthage on a nice little run here. Bernero 4 for 4 from the field. Carthage 9 for 10 out of their last 10 shots.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And you see on that last possession, A.J. Williams able to harass the leading scorer for Millikin, Nate Strouder. And that is the type of contributions that Williams is famous for this year. It's just how much of a ball hawk he can be, and just he sticks in your pocket, and they're forcing Strouder into a turnover. And it seems like Millikin has been frustrated so far in this game, and Carthage able to do what they need to on the offensive end.
47-33, 36 and a half remaining. Don't forget, immediately we're going to jump into the halftime show with Coach Pepino. Welcome him to the Firebird world. A 5-second differential, shot clock, and the game clock. Nesbitt now.
Yeah, it's Nesbitt time here. Leave it up to him to create.
Johnson gets nudged on the way in, I believe. It looks to be Nate Strouder.
It's an interesting set there. It looks like the Carthage knew people expected Nesbitt to take it to the hole, so as he drove it, it's almost like Johnson did like a little wheel route around him, and they were able to create an open lane for him to get to the line.
Johnson no good off the front of the rim. But once again, Coach Pepino will be joining us when this buzzer sounds. Are we going to talk football strategy with him? Like, how deep are we going to go? Are we going to ask him, what's your 2-minute drill look like?
We can grill him with the tough ones, yeah.
Pass in less than 10 seconds. Williams hits the ground, picks up long range three. Oh my goodness.
That's kind of his game there, like a little Trae Young.
JT Welch, absolutely with a long range one. And at half, 48-36 is going to be your score. But right now, we're excited as we are going to be joined for the first time on the broadcasting network here at Carthage College by new head coach of the football squad, Matt Pepino. Matt, we want to thank you for being with us this afternoon, early evening. First off, welcome to Kenosha. How's it been for you so far?
Fantastic. There's great people here. Been very supportive. Been getting a lot of phone calls and emails from alumni. very excited to get the process going, and we have great people here that have been extremely supportive to me and my family in the transition.
Let me start with this one. What brought you to Carthage? What was it that you saw that said, I'm going to move to Kenosha, I'm going to pick up the family, I'm going to move them to Carthage, that really stood out to you and made you want to be a part of this school?
I think the biggest thing is the people. The people in the department, the players, they have a vision. You can see that they have that hunger in their eyes to be successful. You see the overall support of the whole student athlete here as a school. It's not like everywhere. So it's to me, it just struck me like a special place that we could have a lot of success for the whole student athlete here. And like I said, when you have people that are driven the same way you are, it makes you gravitate to them and want to work with them. So extremely excited and fortunate to be here.
Hey, Coach, Eric Elger here. Just looking to introduce the kind of philosophies, and what's your program going to look like? What are some of your offensive, goals, and what are you looking to do this season?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about. In my mind and scheme, it's about putting your players in the best position to succeed. That's our coach's job. What can our players do? Don't tell me what they can't do. Tell me what they can do. And the whole philosophy, what I want you guys to see on game day is a group of guys who love playing football, who love playing for their school. I want you guys to see the energy. I want you to feel the energy when we're out there on that field, and you'll see that. I think you'll see a group of guys who will love to play for each other and love to play for this program, and it'll be exciting. It'll be a lot of fun.
One thing I love to see is Coach Chris Ash, the defensive back coach for the Raiders, had a beautiful statement about you. I mean, what's it like to get that type of support getting this role?
It means everything. He took a chance on me at Rutgers, and there's always that quote by Arnold Schwarzenegger: "The self-made man is a myth." Like, everyone had help to get to where they needed to be, and Coach Ash was one of those guys. Coach McGonigal at Endicott gave me a lot of guidance and helped me get me to this position. My family's support. I mean, my parents are already planning on making the road trip from Jersey. Like, having that support from your coaches and your family, it helps you lead to success. But yeah, people like Coach Ash, he taught me a lot about running a program, about being a football coach. So did Coach McGonigal at Endicott. We had a ton of success there. Coach Haverty at Fitchburg State. Coach Cullen at Worcester State when I played and coached for him. So I'm extremely blessed. I was just around a lot of great people that worked really hard and cared a lot about their players and learned from them.
What is something that, being in a new university, new college, what are you most excited about this season as we kind of get up going here?
It's a new challenge, I guess. So, I mean, I'm excited because you're playing probably one of the best conferences in the country. So you look left and right, and you see great competition. And I think if you're any type of competitor, you want to play the best. I joke with this. Everyone told me how competitive the conference is. When you're a little kid, you don't wake up in the morning and say, I want to play the worst team in the NFL in the Super Bowl. You dream about beating the best. So you want to compete, and that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see our guys go out there and compete.
Yeah, before we let you go, Coach, one thing I want to ask, we're family men ourselves. What was it like telling the family, hey, we're leaving the East, we're going to the Midwest, we're heading to Kenosha? How's that conversation and transition been?
It's been exciting. My wife Leanne's really excited. The parents are extremely excited. It's been, my dad had some sinus surgery, so he couldn't make the trip up. I can't tell you how upset he wasn't here the other day for the press conference. But the family's stoked. They're excited. It's a big change, but a positive one. And everybody here has been so welcoming to our family and myself, and that helps you reaffirm that you're at the right place. That gives you a family atmosphere.
Sounds good. Well, Coach, thank you so much. On behalf of Eric and myself, welcome again to Carthage, welcome to Kenosha, and we look forward to seeing what the team has in store in the future.
I appreciate you guys. Go Firebirds.
All right, thanks, good Coach. Luck. Again, Coach Pops is first time here joining us in the broadcast booth. That was a fun conversation. We'll talk more hoops in just a few minutes, but right now we're going to roll through some highlights. 48-36 your score. Carthage took an early lead, kept moving along. We'll take a timeout when we come back. Halftime report is brought to you here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Appreciate Coach Pepino joining us, the new head football coach of the Firebird squad, alongside my broadcast colleague, as always, Eric Elger. I'm Peter Ferreri. Eric, let's go back to the hoops for a few minutes. Should we say Carthage with a 12-point lead? It was back and forth for most of it, but that final run, really, 9 for their last 10. Carthage really put a stranglehold on things.
Yeah, they were able to have their way really offensively. I mean, you're putting up 48 points. You're halfway to 100 at half, shooting 63% compared to Millikin only at 39%. And Campbell able to knock down. He's got 9 points, 3 threes. They've been able to keep Millikin's leading scorer down a little bit. Nate Strouder, only 2 of 7 from the field. So Carthage in command, but you know how the CCIW goes, is that Millikin's got to run in them, and let's see what Carthage, can they keep that offensive firepower going, because it's going to be a tough climb back for Millikin if Carthage is shooting a sizzling 63%.
Yeah, I think something else to mention, similar to that of the women's game earlier today, it was only a matter of time before the best shooter, Knutson, for Millikin, started to catch fire. Right now, Strouder, not your leading scorer for Millikin. It's been Bond, so look for a Strouder, whether it's Nate or Walter. If they catch fire, that could be the comeback that Millikin's looking for.
Yeah, and we saw Welch there. He's got range, and he's got 10 points himself. And JT Welch is one of those players that, with as deadly as he is from the outside, that 12-point lead can evaporate quickly with as good as shooting Millikin can provide sometimes.
We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, second half action. Firebird Broadcasting Network. Don't go anywhere. 48-36 Carthage over Millikin. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. 48-36, your score. For Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. Appreciate you joining us. Second half action, second game of the doubleheader. Campbell, 3 threes, wanted 4, couldn't find it, hard off the backboard, no iron.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I expected that to go down, and it was a little off the mark. Maybe cold off the second half, coming into the second half here.
Well, when a player's feeling it, it's hard not to feel it up here in the booth. So similar situation right there. Bond looked for the shot, decided to pull down, pass off to McLean, back to Bond. Bond swats it back to keep possession for JT Welch. Welch off to McLean, back to Welch. Soft defense by Carthage. There's the switch. A.J. Williams just gets his hand in the lane. Ugly possession all around for Millikin.
Yeah, he's one of those defenders that you think you got a window and he can stick a hand in there and erase what you thought you had.
Campbell one-on-one versus Frazier Ott right now. Ott was leaving him open for 3.
And there again, the quickness of Nesbitt. It's just so hard to deal with, is that first step, and boom, he's by you, and all you can do is give up a foul.
Quick pass into Campbell. He is wide. Well, I don't want to say wide open, but for Campbell terms, I mean, he was point blank at the rim.
That was how Coach Jurkovic drawed that play up. You saw Phil pop out, and by the time Phil got the ball, Campbell's right under the hoop, and that was an easy bucket. His first 2 of the game.
Bounce past JT Welch right to Sigel. Williams trying to cut in, draws a little bit of contact, lays it up too strong off the back iron. Welch now tries to flip things around, passes off to the right to Livingston. He wants 3, can't find it. Bond throws it back all the way to McLean, who loses his handle. Sigel tries to swipe from behind, left up, off the backboard is McLean.
Yeah, it was a little scramble for the ball there, and Colton trying to poke it out, but
Millikin's not had clean possessions this half so far. It's been like free balls in volleyball. You're just hoping to pass it over the net. Balatovich down low.
Eating it alive there. Nice entry pass by Nesbitt, and Carthage is making it no guessing here. They're going to hammer it down low again, and it's going to be tough if Millikin's not able to get that offensive flow that we've kind of seen today yet.
Pass off McLean. Nice, crisp passing to Ott. Coach Jarakovic very animated as usual, but especially on that circumstance, lead still sits at 12.
Yeah, that's what McLean is good at, is he can drive it to the basket with all the strength. I mean, you can see the arms on the guy. He spends a lot of time in the weight room, and he was able to power it down and dump it off to Ott.
Campbell, he wants the third three, and that misses too far left. So his first three of the second half too far right. That three too far left, so if he takes the third one, it'll go right in the middle.
It's that easy, right?
You know what? That's what I was always told during my old intramural days.
Yeah, those have not been close. They're kind of strange to see someone who was knocking them down the first half.
Bit of a body contact, no call against Campbell. Millikin hits that 10-point mark. So that's what Millikin's got to do. You're not going to get all 10 points back instantaneously. How can you chip away at it?
Just like that. Livingston's a tough athlete, and they're going to have to get some easy buckets. But really, on this defensive end is where it's going to.
Balatovich with the spin cycle and layup with the right hand. One thing that you had been saying, though, is they got to have Carthage bring that shooting percentage, that field goal percentage down.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they're getting some looks down low, and Carthage is going to they're going to cash those in more often than not. So being able to deny the space that they've been getting.
McLean, oh my goodness! Absolute swat. Williams, Euro step, foul on the ground. Coach Jarakovic is saying, why is we not getting the continuation on that?
Carthage volleyball coach J.W. Kikefer might have been looking at Nesbitt there to maybe recruit him.
Yeah.
That thing was spiked. I would bet Nesbitt would be a pretty good volleyball player if the hops, the springs, yeah. He's an athlete, but that thing was tossed down, and McLean got to the hoop, but Nesbitt said that was as far as you're getting here.
Already 2 fouls against Millikin. 4 minutes into the second half. Balatovich spins again, fadeaway jumper. Oh, man.
Beautiful.
Phil Balatovich up to 11 points for number 11.
I've been thinking about this a while. Phil Balatovich has got one of those games that he's going to be tough to guard in the YMCA for years to come. He's going to be frustrating defenders for a long time. He's got that. It's kind of crafty. Doesn't need a whole lot of athleticism to get the shots that he needs. And even though he is athletic, he's able to carve that space. Kind of a prayer there. Yeah, Bullock I don't even think he saw the basket, just kind of heaved it behind his head.
Pass to Campbell, floater with the right hand, up and good. The big man deciding not to go long range, drives it in and finds 2 more. He's up to 13.
And that is a bus driving down the lane there. And able to lay it up soft and kind of stop for as much force and momentum he's got going towards the hoop. He was able to kind of stop in a little finger roll.
Looking for the pass. The pass actually,
I think that
it hit Campbell's shin. I mean, way above the foot.
Yeah, and he didn't even stick his leg out. It was
no,
the pass.
he was looking. His head was completely turned to the left, rotating. Mishandle there, Coach Jarakovic. Hollering for his team to get in position.
I mean, for Millikin to get back in this game, they're going to need to take advantage of like little fortunate events like that.
Campbell called for the foul. Just, he had Ott exactly where he wanted him, and that was not in a good position, but just decided to reach in at the last moment. Third foul now on Campbell.
Yeah, Ott's not going to hurt you that far away from the basket more often than not, so if you can stay straight up with him out there.
Left hand trying to go up with it, and it's going to be tipped off of Ott. Ryan Johnson looked like was going to sub into the game, but sitting back down now.
Yeah, McLean saw Bullock try that heave behind his head, and tried it himself. It's like a couple of wild layups here. It's Millikin trying to do what they can. Down 16. Doesn't seem like they have a whole lot of answers right now. And if you're Carthage, you're just pounding away. Nice pass.
Almost hitting the baseline. Nesbitt loses possession after all is said and done.
Yeah, tried to make a highlight play there. It's not a terrible idea to go behind the back, but that was behind the back into some traffic.
Miladovich going to get called for the foul. He was moving backwards while Hand made some contact. Third foul now on Miladovich. So Miladovich and Campbell both had 3 fouls with 13:45 remaining. Johnson definitely to sub in now.
Yeah, Welch had a little extra acted on that one. And Phil, I mean, if you're Phil, you just got to stay straight up. And you have such a height advantage. It's just if you lean over and, draw the foul there, it's kind of what he's looking for. And not able to pick up the first free throw. And that is a rare miss because JT Welch was 30 of 34 coming into the game here. So to see a miss one, that's only his 5th free throw missed all the year.
Johnson off to Nesbitt now. Let's see where things can go defensively for Millikin. Carthage has kind of had their way, and even with starting to miss some shots and bring that field goal percentage down, fouling on the ground. It's not a bad call to start fouling at this point, just if you want to be in position later on, not letting them take those easy layups. Saw the same thing on the last possession, or 2 possessions ago with A.J. Williams.
It'd be interesting to see a stat similar to fouls drawn, because Nesbitt has kind of been able to pick up really some kind of cheap fouls because the defender knows they've been beaten, so all they can do is reach and grab, and Nesbitt's been able to pull that out of the Millikin defense quite often today.
So the athletic trainer was just tending to Julian Campbell, not quite sure because the back of the trainer was to me, but we'll be intrigued to see what that situation is, or just a general conversation. 15-point lead for the Firebirds. Plenty of time left for the Big Blue to come back.
Ryan Johnson did a nice job there, just holding his ground, and didn't give Lawrence much there at all.
Nate Straughter checking back in. Not the offensive output we would have expected from him so far. And they're going to say it touched Sigel on his way out of play. 4 seconds remaining. Millikin's got to have one of those plays drawn up where you just kind of get it and go, maybe time for a dribble.
Williams and Straughter a little mixing it up. Ball's out of bounds here. But yeah, the scouting report on Millikin is Straughter is really what the straw that stirs the drink, and he's at 6 points, and it kind of has looked like that, is that they just haven't had much of an identity on offense and just looking for answers. And we know how this, CCIW is. There's still plenty of time for them to figure it out.
Left hand, oh my goodness, kissed every inch of the rim, but couldn't find the bucket. Cole Lawrence, what else can you ask for?
Yeah, that did everything but go down.
Miladovich had the lane, missed the layup, passed up ahead. Bond passed down, nice pass to Bullock. And just like that, Millikin with a few points in a row. Back to within 13, they trail 58-45.
Yeah, Coach Jurkovic looking to just kind of extinguish any type of momentum Millikin was looking to have there. And yeah, you look at Millikin and you wonder, can they get Schroeder going? Are they going to see if Lawrence is going to be enough to pound it down low? But you just wonder where they're going to find those answers. And, yeah, Carthage still shooting at 59% compared to 38% for Millikin. So you give credit to Millikin really to be only down 13, and they're shooting 20% lower. So
it's a T-shirt toss again, Eric. We talked about it in the first game. It looks like there is only one T-shirt to be tossed, however. So I don't want to take the one T-shirt away from the fan. If it was multiple T-shirts being tossed, oh, see, that's just a little underhand, like second row. He wasn't even, oh, he gave it to the kid. Good. See, that's nice. That's what you do.
It's the right move. It is. You don't want to end up on one of those social media videos where you're denying a kid a T-shirt, because that will blow up into.
Yeah. I got very lucky. Went to a lot of baseball games this past year, and brought my daughter to many of them, and nothing even came close. Finally, the last game of the season I brought her to, I said, okay, we're just going to get there, real early for BP. And one of the attendants just walked over to us and said, hey, one just came over to this area, and you're the first kid I saw here. And she didn't even know what to say. I'm like, this is where you say thank you, because she was so used to being hyped up during the game to get a foul ball and never even having one come remotely close that she couldn't grasp that. No, you're just getting one for, being here early.
It's good to get one on the board, but yeah, I think the thrill of getting one live is still the goal.
Thrill.
Especially in you ever see the Savannah Bananas, if you make a catch in the crowd, it actually counts as an out in the game, so that would be something.
That's such an amazing concept that they've created for themselves. Old traveling road show.
Yeah, I know quite a few people that saw them in Franklin. They had a 2 or 3 game little series, and people had a good time.
Barnstorming, is that the term that they use?
Yeah, that's right. It's no different really than the Harlem Globetrotters,
yeah.
Right? I mean, just way sillier and baseball related. Good extra pass.
Nice pass, Williams. Can't find it off the back iron. Once again, Cole Lawrence already over his season, not only season average for Lawrence. Well, he's over his season average, I should say, but
and there they
getting some points. So again, Lawrence, his time has diminished throughout his career at Millikin, but having a throwback game here this evening in Carthage. Ryan Johnson, the big man. When you can have stretch fives like Campbell and Johnson, my goodness, just deadly.
Yeah, you could see Lawrence just wasn't able to get a hand in his face at all. And that's kind of the downside I think Millikin's facing here is, they're getting some buckets down low, but
slide of Lawrence.
Carthage Carthage seems to can out-scheme him a little bit with the, like you said, the stretch fives that they have.
Tony Panero looking to check in. And another comment is, when you look at the depth of the Firebirds, you have a player last year like Nemanja Stojic, tons of playing time in prior years. I cannot recall if he's seen the court yet this year for the Firebirds. At least he hasn't at home. And actually, looking at the total numbers, he hasn't. There's a player that last year was getting tons of playing time. So it just shows, kind of a schematic change, a shift with where things are, because, the big Osh, he's your old school big man in the middle, get some boards, throw down a dunk or two, get some rebounds. And they've kind of schemed him out of that rotation. But, when you talk with Coach Jarakovic, he's the key cog to their scouting report and the scouting team each and every week. So for all we know, he was Frazier out this week.
Yeah, not a great possession there for Carthage. As earlier there, you saw Nesbitt was able to draw another foul. So in this stat that I'm now going to count on my own, I believe that's at least 4 or 5 fouls that Nesbitt's able to draw just with his quickness. As McLean walking it down.
Very unclear why that was happening with 10 minutes remaining in the game, but I digress. Mishandled pass to the sideline. McLean cut, Stoddard in, Score still stands.
Yeah, it looks like McLean said that was his bad on that one, so maybe it was a set that he didn't run correctly. But yeah, he looked to Strouder to say, Nate Strouder said, hey, yeah, that's probably my bad there. Millikin mixing it up a little bit here. Defensively, trying to get a little
bit more pressure.
A little pressure, yeah. See if they can force Carthage into some turnovers here.
Nesbitt, the quick handoff to Bernero. Bernero up with the left hand, no good. Ryan Johnson trying to fight for it.
It's kind of a weird situation here. It feels like this game could go kind of either way. This seems a critical point, and
that's what's going to start it. I mean, already, if you think about it, you have the likes of Baladovic, Campbell, 3 fouls apiece for each of them. And so at some point, Millikin's got to take advantage of the 2 best players, arguably, for the Firebirds not playing right now. Campbell's still on the bench, but it looks like Baladovic is going to sub back in. And he does. So Baladovic subs in for Bernero. Sigel checks out Tanner Lamb, comes back in.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Jurkova kind of saw that as a period to maybe get some guys some rest with a big lead, and now it seems like that lead cut down to 10. Get Baladovic back out there.
Yeah, 10-point lead. It may not seem like a lot, but the fact that they've dwindled it down bit by bit, piece by piece, a lot of time left in this contest. Millikin goes on a little bit of a hot streak. Johnson with the layup with the right hand. Contact on the way down, no foul called. Jarakovic just flabbergasted that there was no whistle. Fadeaway jumper, that's going to hit all sides of the rim, no good. A.J. Williams with the board.
Yeah, Strouder not able to knock it down. It's kind of his game in that mid-range there. But Johnson, a nice layup in the last possession and taking it down here.
Boy. Johnson taking over the game. It's what we said somebody from Millikin needs to do. Johnson said, nope, my turn.
He's at 16 now.
Floater with the right hand. Who's got the rebound? Johnson.
Yeah, he's they're looking to go through him on the offensive end. He's setting screens for Nesbitt, rolling low.
Charge going to be called against Nesbitt.
Yeah, it looks like kind of what Carthage is running. Nesbitt up at the top. He's got some options. If he drives, he can dish out to Lamb. He can get Johnson coming crashing down low, but there, Millikin able to step in front of him and take the charge. Yeah, that's got to be a tough situation for teams to stop. Where you got Nesbitt running at you, you've got elite shooters on the outside, and then Johnson crashing. That's tough to defend all of those options.
Chase Travis in now. Foul going to be called against Baladovic. That's going to be his 4th.
Yeah, Baladovic trying to close out hard there and didn't seem to let him land one of those situations the ref had to call. And
yeah,
there definitely might have been a slight kick out by Strouder there to kind of collect the contact, but
when you're the best shooter on the team, you know, you get those calls.
Yep.
You know how to get those calls.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything like so, out of line that he was trying to pick up a foul, but yeah, you know how there's the dark arts of basketball a little bit. I would say, James Harden being your probably leader of the dark arts of basketball. But yeah, I mean, especially down at this point in the game, if you can pick up, a cheap one, get 3 free throws, that's kind of what you need to do is kind of scrap your way back into it.
No, you bring up a great point. Right now, this is when the run needs to happen. You don't want to wait till 3 minutes left, or 3 or 4 minutes left, I should say, and be down by 10. You need to start cracking away at that now. You want to have to be single digits by the 4 or 5 minute mark. Ryan Johnson
Going back to that high screen for Nesbitt.
So much playing time for Johnson, the true freshman.
There you
now.
There you can see Johnson pop, instead of rolling, popped out to the three-point line.
Williams pulls up for a three of his own, can't find it. Carthage was running back defensively, nobody there to crash the boards. And a heel on the line for Bond, so just a gimme possession for the Firebirds.
You wonder if on a situation like that, the orange shoes play against you, you know what I mean? Because you can definitely see that orange shoe touching the line there, but, you know.
I was going to actually mention it, but I didn't know when the time would be. Such a plethora of designs and colors on the court today. Reds, whites, blacks, pinks, blues.
I love how there's like not a single car. Oh, there's Nesbitt. I'm like, you'd think most guys have a pair of red shoes for the Firebirds. No.
Yeah.
Nesbitt getting downhill.
I was always I want a white for my hoops days. I want a white with the accent color being the team color.
Oh. I was a fan of the team shoes, but we're a long way away from that, I think.
Yeah. Bond pushing Lamb, trying to flick it up. No foul called on the ground. A potential jump ball opportunity. Whistle finally comes. And possession's going to stay on that right side.
Carthage did a nice job there, not biting on a pump fake there. And you even saw Lamb just kind of stood his ground. And
a very delayed call. Seven, 6, 5 on the shot clock. Pulling up, blocked away. Ooh. Coach Jarakovic walking all the way to the end of the bench. Colton Sigel called as the shot clock was expiring.
I mean, my question here is if you got fouled on the wrist shooting, what is his head doing getting kind of knocked back?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. A little added acting there. I'm not sure if that's what got the call, but I know that's what Coach Jurkovic is not a huge fan of. And a great free throw shooter.
Yeah.
That's why it kind of really hurts, too. Again, Millikin looking to get Carthage a little scrambled around here with that half-court pressure.
Something to note, since I mentioned that the trainer looked at Campbell. He has not been back in the game. So not quite sure if it was a tweak, not quite sure if it's rest until the final moments. Not quite sure if Ryan Johnson wants a three. Oh, wait, he did. Huge three-pointer for Johnson. He's up to 19.
Yeah, the Ryan Johnson taking the torch from Campbell as the Fives just continue to knock down outside shots, and it has been a huge problem for Millikin. This ball looked like it was kicked out of bounds, must have went off Carthage there.
Can JT Welch find his way to the line again? Hit off the side of the backboard. He looked for a call, did not get the call.
Did the head move
Sigel
again?
To Johnson. Johnson gets contact, floats it up. Blocking foul going to be called against Jake Bullock.
Yeah, wow. It's been impressive to see Johnson take over the second half and extending the Carthage up to 15 now. You got a free throw shooter here is going to knock down 2, hopefully, and the offense has really been clicking through number 10 tonight.
Ryan Johnson out of Oswego East. Season/career high is 20. He has now matched that mark with a timeout. 71-55 your score. It's the Ryan Johnson show as thing continues on. We'll stay here. What does Millikin have to do? They've just been, we talked about some of the low scoring outputs they've had this year. We didn't quite predict that they wouldn't surpass that. We kept predicting a run's going to happen, a streak's going to happen, and it just hasn't happened so far.
Yeah, credit to Carthage. I mean, nothing has really seemed to come easy at all for Millikin. And we talked about later at 10-minute mark, they had some time to kind of make a run here, but now you're kind of forcing the issue and saying, hey, we got to get some shots up. We might not need to think about maybe getting Welch some more threes, some open looks. But, yeah, Carthage just able to keep and stay steady with the lead, and I think that's the biggest thing for Carthage. Just been, it seems like they haven't had, more than a couple trips empty when they come on the offensive end. So shooting as well as they have and keeping that offensive pressure, it's hard for Millikin. It has been to keep up with that firepower.
Now, with that being said, when you have players like Nate Stauder, a 385 percentage from the three-point land, almost a 500 field goal shooter, you get a few threes underneath or in the belt for him, along with JT Welch, 27 threes in his own right. Make a few of those, you're right back in it. You still have time. So let's see what the mindset is coming out of it, because for right now, as we've seen these last few possessions there, Welch has been just trying to get contact, and you're not going to get that every time. And he's not been looking to kick at all.
I mean, it makes sense. It's like if you're down, you want to get you get your 88% free throw shooter to the line. The clock has stopped, and so you can see that's why they want to go that route. But yeah, you're not going to get that contact. You're not going to get that foul every time. And that last possession, Carthage is able to do a good job of staying straight up and did not get the foul called.
And with that point, Johnson has his now career high. Nice backdoor pass to Welch.
And there you can tell Carthage worried about Welch behind the line. He's able to sneak, cut back door.
It's one of the biggest changes defensively for Carthage. That was truly an Achilles heel of theirs the past few seasons. Just the backdoor passes, the down low. Somebody was, a step behind. Coach Jarakovic has absolutely put a stop to that. Johnson turns around to Nesbitt. Oh, what a floater! Antoine Nesbitt, and those are the type of points they're going to keep Carthage on their way to victory here on this Saturday evening.
Yeah, and it's demoralizing for Millikin, especially on a pass like that. But
Lamb, contact, nothing called. And Lamb slow to get up. That was a close call.
Yeah, it's tough if you're trying to get back into a game and Carthage runs, the shot clock down a little bit, and next thing you know is an alley-oop layup to Nesbitt. And yeah, it's hard to keep, they're going to really have to get a couple stops here. Probably need to start looking at being aggressive in the passing lanes, kind of forcing the issue, because Carthage has been so efficient when they can run their offense and play how they want to play.
Welch gets a screen double teamed, looks for the kick out to Bond one more time, underneath, layup opportunity, contact, Bond with the offensive board, swatted again, Ryan Johnson able to come away with it. Bond so frustrated, thought he got fouled, pass up to Johnson, numbers are there, thought about the floater to Williams, and then just a misguided possession because Johnson had Williams right under the basket, decided instead to slow it down. He goes to Sigel, then Sigel tries to get it in, and Williams had already moved on with his life.
Yeah, I think with a look like that, maybe you're trying to think about if you're Sigel, don't take an early three, but that was so open that you guarantee Coach Jurkovic would rather have a shot attempt than kind of that pass that was really difficult to get through.
Yeah, and I want to say for all intents and purposes, Campbell's night looks to be done. Taking the hair down and sitting way down on the bench. Not quite sure what the situation is, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah,
I don't think he had any injury designation coming into today where they were, if they have a lead, we're going to let him get some rest. Unless something was said to you, I didn't hear anything. So
no, I did not hear. And when you saw the start in the game, he looked completely healthy. Obviously, knocking down those shots early, he looked like he was rolling and going to have quite the game. But yeah, something maybe a little.
Could be an extremity. Could be a hand, a finger, and hey, just let it go right now. No reason to push. Also, with it being said, with Campbell out of the game, you forced Millikin to go smaller, so you don't have Frazier out, you don't have Cole Lawrence in the game. You're going completely small ball now, and that's where Ryan Johnson's had the advantage. Balatovich checks back in, goes for the dunk, has it blocked by Bond. Out of play, they're saying last touched by the Firebirds.
That would have been a highlight there.
Yeah, it would have. I mean, one of the highlights for the entirety of last season, I remember, was a thunder dunk by Nesbitt.
That was one of the best dunks I think I've seen live. That was awesome. I know what one you're talking about. Who's the foul on there? Calling on.
It's going to be called on Colton Sigel. So 8 fouls so far, credited against Carthage. 1 and 1 already here, so we'll be hitting that double soon. Again, as I said, if you're Millikin, you know, I said personally, if you're in that 10-point mark, you start the foul, but now that you're going to hit the double, now you absolutely go to try to get the foul. This is the second, can't afford that. Swipe from behind. Jaden McLean not happy at all. Coach Jarakovic talking with Phil Balatovich. Maybe Phil wants to be a coach one day. I've never actually spoken to Phil, so not quite sure what his life plans are, or if I can call him Phil. Can I call you Phil?
Well, his life plans minus playing at the Y, and crushing people for years to come. But yeah, now Carthage going to the line, and if you're Coach Jarakovic, this is exactly where you'd like to be in this game. Up 14, you're getting free throws now. Almost, 2 fouls away from it being double bonus all the way home, and you got Williams on the line, and one of the better shooters at 77%. So
I'll never forget, you keep mentioning playing at the Y. Once, when I was in college, I would never forget the first time the hoops season ended and a senior on the then Missouri Valley Conference winning Creighton Blue Jay team decided to play a pickup game with me and my friends. Michael Lindemann, who was one of the 3-point leaders in the conference, decided to play pickup. I said, this is not fair. How am I supposed to guard this man? He's a foot taller than me.
Yeah, that's
so that's going to be Phil.
Wonder what enjoyment you get out of just picking on the.
It's as my wife says, it's a core memory. All these years later, able to remember that it was shirts versus skins, and I was a skin against Michael Lindemann. And the irony is, not that he would remember, but I actually ran into him a few years ago at a Bulls game, and I said, Mike, I introduced myself. I know you don't remember me. We went to college together, and we played this game, and I have to tell you that is one of the most long-lasting memories. And he said, I'm sorry. He apologized for that being one of my core memories of college. I said, no, it's a good one.
Again, playing the old roll the ball down the court game and trying to force, and they're saying it was knocked off of Welch.
That was a close one. It was 2 threes standing next to each other. Welch and Sigel thought it might have hit off of the back of the thigh of Sigel, but they're saying it was Welch. And
I was almost looking for another ref from,
yeah.
You know how sometimes a ref from another angle will come in, but yeah, his 2 partners were fine with the call, and so Carthage ball it is.
Sigel can't find the 3.
I don't think Coach Jarakovic loved that, but he likes that he gets it right back.
Here comes a good opportunity. Oh, smart play, slowing it down. Nesbitt, was going for something fancy. Bond said, nope, not today.
Yeah, you didn't.
Don't want to be posterized.
No,
here.
you didn't want to be a participant in the that poster at all.
It almost looked like Nesbitt was going for like a windmill dunk.
Some try one in warm-ups before the game. He didn't make it, so I don't know if that would have been a great idea to throw a windmill dunk in traffic during the game, but I would guarantee you can do it.
I was just going to say, I don't know the demeanor enough of Coach Jarakovic if he'd be okay with that. Maybe if you're up by 40, maybe he wouldn't mind as much. But a 17-point lead, maybe a stretch. He seems like the lay up the ball type of coach, but Nesbitt tried to swat at it after contact. Timeout going to be called by Millikin, lead back to 15. And it seems, unless something miraculous happens in the final 225, that run we were expecting from Millikin, it just never happened. They got their points, but it wasn't in bunches, it wasn't in runs, it just kind of matriculated along, and they didn't slow Carthage down, and Carthage hits that 80-point mark, and if we look at those numbers, 84 is what Carthage scored in their game against North Park just a few days ago, but they're at the 80-plus mark of every single win, minus their win 70-66 over Thiel back in November, and their 75-67 win over Marion. But besides then, it's been 80s and 90s.
Yeah, it's impressive to see that. Yeah, when you expected a run from Millikin, I think the Big Blue were able to get it down to 8-9 points, but it was really Johnson down the stretch who was just too much to handle. He was knocking down threes, going down low, making blocks, and it seemed like he was kind of the extinguisher of any type of run that Millikin was hoping to go on.
Nesbitt gets the pack to Balatovich. That's actually going to get tipped in the air, so trailing from behind. Smart play by Nate Stauder. Strong pass to the right side, pump fakes the three. Almost a travel called.
Yeah, that was close.
Stauder now losing the handle, 15 remaining on the shot clock. Bond drives, floats it up with the right hand, rolls around good.
Tough shot there.
Bond with the golden eye.
I got that one.
I've been waiting, an hour and a half in real time. Johnson up and good, but Bond really hadn't done much since that opening run. You mentioned SNES, so I thought maybe, an N64 GoldenEye.
Definitely dabbled for sure, and
okay.
I can say Coach Jurkovic is pretty good at GoldenEye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I will not challenge him. There's actually not many games I'd ever really challenge anybody. I've been challenged. I'll never forget one of my old bosses. I said I liked playing Tecmo Bowl way back in the day, and he's like, "Oh, I bet I could beat you." And I said, "No, it's okay. I'm sure you would." And so he brought. He actually.
He's like, "No, I'm going to beat you."
Yeah, he actually Googled, found a used toy game store on lunch break, went and bought it with the game, set it up in one of the break rooms, and even had the, one would say, audacity to say, and I'm going to hit the random. He goes, you pick whatever team you want, and I'll pick a random team, and I will still beat you.
It's a true sign of confidence there.
And I don't know if he scored. So that was a lot to a little. And needless to say, most of the second half of that game, he was pretty quiet. And then, as you can imagine, some of the excuses started coming out. Well, you knew the team you picked. And, well, I didn't really know this playbook. And I said, you set the terms, sir. And then I didn't work there much longer. So 82-69 your score. Cheer squad, dance squad, doing a fabulous job as they have all season. 82-69, not to look too far ahead, but again, barring anything crazy, Carthage is likely to come away with a victory. And, not to say it was expected, but Coach Jurkovic was very calm in our pregame conversation. And that calming force kind of, you could see, played into how this team has looked this evening.
Yeah, especially we were coming off a game where we had to go to overtime to take down North Park. I think Coach Jurkovic will be fine for a game that really they controlled from minute one and got still a 13-point lead, just a minute and a half. And, yeah, you got to like what Coach Jurkovic is seeing out there. And, it seemed like it was Campbell first, transition to Johnson, and just that steady presence of Nesbitt, just attacking, drawing fouls, dishing it out when he needs to, making big blocks. And, yeah, they've really rolled this game out to a comfortable margin, and we'll see what Millikin can try to draw up here. If you're a coach for Millikin, let's get a little crazy here. We got to be trapping, we got to be shooting threes, what can we do to find a way to claw back into this with 90 seconds remaining?
Bond right now taking time, looking for Welch. They're going to play that three ball, as we said. Fine, give him the two at this point. There's that nice crisp pass inside. McLean able to finish. Here comes the numbers. Here comes Nesbitt. passes, Johnson, and good. You can tell Nesbitt wanted more.
Yeah.
Welch looks for that leaner three, and he's able to find it. So just like that, 10 points by Millikin. Welch, I mean, it's off balance, it's leaning in, but man, that's deadly.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me, I think I said it earlier, like that Trey Young shot where he doesn't really ever feel set. Just kind of looks like he just flicks it from where he is. But yeah, Millikin's going to still look to force some turnovers. And if you're Carthage, you pretty much know if I can take care of the ball, if I can, get across half court, knock down my free throws, we should be able to drive this into victory lane. But that's a big if. You never know. There could be turnover. That's why you play to the last minute, and Millikin's going to try to muck it up as much as they can and see what they can scrap out.
Well, and they've done a fair job in these most recent possessions. Fine, we'll allow you to score fast. We're going to make it very challenging. But then with that quick scoring, they're able to turn back and one-up it. They haven't been missing at the rate of which they had prior. And looking at the recent run, right now, Millikin's 5 for their last 6 from the field. So that's pretty darn good if you ask me. And that's how they've now taken that 15, 16-point lead and cut it to that 10 mark. Yeah,
the shooting difference and the field goal percentage, we mentioned how it was at one point it was like 20%, and now those two shooting, Millikin shooting at 46%, Carthage at 54%. So those two percentages kind of squeezing together is what is giving Millikin a little life here. And as you said, yeah, taking those buckets is what kind of kept them in this so far.
But Sigel gets that foot. I was close. He just got 1 foot past half court. Trapped again by Williams. See, now the situation, they're just trying to use up clock besides getting the easy bucket as Williams finally gets fouled while trying to spin away. That's almost harder than getting it past court to score.
Yeah, you wonder what Millikin, they almost could have fouled a little. If they were going to foul, they could have fouled a little sooner there because, Carthage able to knock off 15, 18 seconds. And here's what we talked about. Williams, if you're able to knock these down, you're not going to open up the door for Millikin to come back.
Makes the second one. Don't forget, folks, stick around for the postgame show. Coach Jarakovic will be joining us up here in the booth, immediately following the action. Welch with that leaner three again, no good this time around. Lead back to 12. Johnson brings back past half court. He gets the triple trap. Nesbitt now just holding on to it, and he gets a pat on the hip from Stauder, and that'll send Antoine Nesbitt to the line.
Yeah, an impressive performance from Carthage today, just in command. Really didn't let Millikin have a sniff of the lead or get close at all, and an impressive victory for Carthage if they're able to hold on for the last 24 seconds. I don't want to get too far ahead, but building some after the couple losses they suffered in Florida, now building 2 tough conference wins back to back here, and it's exciting to see this team continue to grow, to continue to put up the offensive numbers that they have. And
crowd is pretty quiet, as you can imagine. So let's see if they decide to foul. He's yelling no. Now, steal away by Bond. Bond with the dunk. Kind of getting some boo birds out there.
Yes.
But
I don't think Sigel loved that ball was getting stolen, but it didn't matter.
3 with 2 with 1. And that's going to end things. That's going to be it. That's all she wrote after that dunk. It's a 10-point victory for the Firebirds over the visiting Blue of Millikin. We will take a timeout when we come back. Post-game show with Coach Jarakovic right here on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome in now to the post-game show alongside Eric Elger. I'm Peter Ferreri and Coach Jared Kovic. Coach, talk us through it. It was a situation where we kept kind of expecting a run from Millikin in the end there. It just never happened. You stifled everything they tried to do. How'd you find success this afternoon?
Shared the ball very well. It kind of felt like last year offensively at times where you got the ball inside out. They're very correct. They're very physical. We wanted to drag them out a little bit, make their post chase on the perimeter, which I thought we did a good job. Forced them to actually come out further, suck help, and we made some open looks in the first half, which got us off to a good start. And you know, anytime you shoot 58 from the floor, it's been a good day. And we know, we've talked about it a lot. And I don't know the right way. Do you talk about free throws? Do you shoot more when you're not shooting well? But 24 for 28 from the line, we got the ball where we're supposed to go late.
Yeah, you mentioned the key of stretching them out. Like with the two stretch fives with Campbell and Johnson and go inside and outside, how does that dimension add to your offense and what you guys can do?
It's fun because we throw so many different pieces out there and we always feel like we're going to be able to score the way we want. And first half, probably our biggest lift was Anthony Bernero also, who got the slip early, which is the passes we wanted to make. Get the ball side to side, throw the diagonal, catch, finish. He was 4-4 in the first half. Then you add Ryan Johnson to the mix, and the way that they play, they drop a lot in the middle of the floor. We were able to get some of the pick and pops that we practiced the last 2 days in practice. So you're proud of the guys. It was a tough one on Wednesday. We battled through, came from 10 behind. Millikin is obviously a well-coached, organized basketball team, and they're super physical. And you know, for some reason, we can't guard DeMarcus Bond ever, and he always hits his shots in this building. He had 18 points. Another senior. They've had guys that have played in a lot of good games for them. JT Welch, a heck of a point guard who always, if you put him in the line, the ball's in the basket. So proud of our guys, good effort, and enjoy a day off tomorrow and be ready for Wheaton next week.
Yeah, you mentioned letting Bond got his score, but in the scouting report, Nate Strouder is really the guy that they look to run their offense through, and you guys were able to keep him really quiet tonight, only 8 points. What was something you threw at him today that threw him off?
A.J. Williams. And A.J. Williams is a strong, terrific lateral movement player on the defensive end of the floor. And he fought. He blew up every handoff. He blew up every zoom. He fought over the top on every screen, contested shots, back tapped when he was behind. One of the more fun players to be around because he's always in the right spot. You only have to tell him one time and it's done. And I thought he made Strouder work, because Strouder, I believe, was 20 points in 3 of the last 4 games, whatever it ended up being. And when he gets going, he can really shoot the basketball. He elevates well. But I thought A.J. Williams, did an unbelievable job on him for 40 minutes.
Before we let you go, Johnson, in his very young career, hits his career high already. What's it like in terms of points at least? What's it like to have somebody be able to not only start but finish so well and do exactly what you need?
The problem is I had no idea because he does so much within the offense where it looks easy to him all the time. Pick, pop, 3, we expect it to go in. Backside catch finish, we expect it to go there. He crashes the offensive boards. He's a very good basketball player, and he's only getting better. I've said that to you guys from day one at the beginning of the year, and it's been fun to see his development this last couple weeks with brother not playing, where he's really taken that upon himself to step up, and we needed every bit of it. And I think defensively he's getting more confident. I think he's becoming more at ease in the offense of where he's letting the game come, where he can find the mismatch where he wants, whether it's on the block or the pick and pop, and excited to see him develop for the next few years.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for having us here today. Once again, huge victory, 10-point. Best of luck. Get some rest. Enjoy the weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Happy Serbian Christmas.
There you go. Thank you. Again, for John Vojinovic, our executive producer, happy Serbian Christmas to him as well. For those that celebrate, 10-point win for Carthage. I don't want to use the term easy, Eric, but the run, like we said, for Millikin never came, and Carthage just did what they wanted to do.
Yeah, maybe comfortable is more of the. It didn't seem
There
like
you go, comfortable.
It wasn't. Yeah, nothing's easy. I guarantee if you ask Coach Kovic, hey, is it easy? Was it an easy win? He would, deny that. But comfortable in that they got ahead and really just rode that 10-point lead, and it never really got too close. And Carthage was in command all night, and yeah, that's you got to feel good if you're the Firebirds after a nail biter on Wednesday to get out of this one, and it's relatively easy.
Another CCIW victory for the Carthage Firebirds. Well, thank you all for being with us this afternoon for the doubleheader. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Vojinovic, as well as the staff and crew Laura, Mark, Allison, Matt, and Natasha on directing, graphics, replay, and camera. Again, this has been a presentation of Firebird Broadcast Productions and Carthage College, copyright 2023. On behalf of my broadcast colleague Eric Elger, I'm Peter Ferreri. 88-78 your final from Tarble Arena in Kenosha. Firebirds over Millikin in a CCIW matchup. Have a good rest of your evening, everybody.